Welcome back to the Marching Arts Pseudo Podcast. I am the Stress Master. I am the Stress Master.
And I am Kanan, and Jen's not here because she hates percussionists.
Yeah, you know, and even though her son's going to become a percussionist, but that's okay. Yeah. That's okay. You know, she'll learn to love it in time. But what we're going to do on this pseudo mini podcast is we're going to be looking at WGI, specifically percussion. So we're going to be looking at percussion. Unfortunately, wins are competing today and tomorrow. Otherwise, we would be looking at that. And I probably will do a reaction to whoever wins the wins world. But we wanted to kind of look at the percussion side because that's very close to what we do.
And if you've missed it, we did our last podcast, or now when you're watching this, it'll be the second to last podcast on my personal favorite show of the year, the George Mason drumline from George Mason University performing the George Mason Show. Yeah. If you haven't seen that, Justin will put it up here somewhere. You've got to watch it. It's great.
It is beyond.
They leaned into that so hard.
Yeah, they really did lean into the whole shtick of the thing, and it worked for them. It really did work for them. I thought it was fun, creative, inventive. It was really good.
Ironically, that you have a WGI line leading into shtick in the same week that, and I cannot believe it's taken this long. Jack Bevins has been elected to the Drum Corps International Hall of Fame.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
How on God's green earth has it taken this long to get that man into the DCI Hall of Fame?
I know. I mean, they stopped 30 years ago now, but I mean, my goodness, yeah.
And, I mean, people still to this day talk about VK. Mm-hmm. So, and also there's been some other notable additions to that Hall of Fame as well. I'm waffling while I'm pulling it up here. So
Matt
Harloff from Carolina Crown.
Deserved.
The percussion judge that picked up the drum was Alan Christensen. Picked up the drum for the Carolina Crown member back when they did. It was the 2014 show. He's made it, and then Jim Moore, color guard and choreographer extraordinaire, is joined as well. But yeah, Jack Bevins. How on earth? Shame on the drum corps community that it's taken this long to get that man into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, we've been trying to get our former director into the Hall of Fame for years and years and years, right?
Parker Silva, or you think about Parker Silva. I mean, just the Silvas in general were so instrumental to drum corps on the West Coast. The 70s and 80s, especially. So
yeah.
Congratulations to all of them. But let's talk about WGI.
Yeah, let's talk about WGI. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up the scores and stuff like that. We'll watch. We're going to watch RCC, who were the gold medalists. So congratulations to RCC and the Blue Devils family and all that stuff. And we're going to kind of look at the scores and recaps and stuff. I think I have some cats at the door. Hold on a second. I know this is weird, but I got to let them in.
I'm convinced that one of these days we're going to do this podcast, and then one of these cats are just going to take Justin out, and it's just going to be me and cats talking about drum corps. I'm absolutely convinced of it. And Justin, don't you dare cut any of this out. So,
okay, I didn't hear anything you said because I had my headphones off.
Yeah, you're not allowed to cut anything out that I just said. I was just talking about how I'm convinced one of these days the cats are going to take you out in the middle of one of these podcasts.
No, they're not like that. I feed them and take care of them, huh, buddy? We're going to start with the scores, and you can see Ayala High School, 99.5. That's a really high score. Congratulations to them. Beating the other drum lines by over 2 points. And you can see first through third is a 4-point gap.
Well, that's mind you that Chino Hills and Ayala are both in Chino Hills. What the hell do they put in the water there?
I don't know.
It's just nuts. And did you see the Avon show? The Avon show was really cool So I don't know if maybe you can intersperse some video while I'm talking here. We don't have to necessarily watch the show because of time constraints and all that stuff. But they had this, they were really, really inventive with the way that they did staging. And the show was about gravity, I believe it was. And they have like floating drums and it's hard to describe. Find some video, intersperse it here while I'm talking. But it was just super, super, super cool. And there was also a little video knocking about somewhere of their prop crew, which is basically all parents.
Wow.
About how they built the props and all that stuff. It's pretty amazing. But yeah, Ayala 99.5. That's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's just a ridiculous. I can't wait to watch that show because I'm a huge Chino Hills fan when it looks at Scholastic World. And I mean, let's be honest, 4 points. They stomped them. So
that's a big gap.
Everybody.
That's a big gap, yeah. And Aola has been really good for a long time. I remember I actually interviewed to write their drill, and I was young guy, really young. This is 20 something plus years ago. And the band was just starting to kind of come up, and man, they've been a powerhouse for a long time. So congratulations to them. So let's make
another one.
Go ahead.
Another one in the Scholastic ranks that I'm always a big fan of is Dartmouth as well. They've always had some really cool shows.
Yeah.
So
there's a lot of great shows. I mean, you can see all and this is independent or Scholastic World. So give me 1 second here. Let me switch out of this, and we're actually going to go ahead and watch. We're going to go ahead and watch Aola here. I love the set design, and look how many like performers they have that are non-percussionists. Look at that.
It's just mad, isn't it?
That is just in a crazy amount. And that's been kind of a theme, is they have like dancers or even some flags in there now with the winter percussion, which I get why, but it's just kind of like
kind of blurs the line a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we just put some horns in there and call it mini,
and well, but the thing is, that's what they're doing in Europe now. So the European activity has gone completely inside.
2025 program, Beholder of the Eyes. WGI Sport of the Arts is proud to present Ayala High School.
Cool uniforms. I like the third eyes as well on the foreheads.
I really like they have the gold and it's layered. They have black mesh layered on top, like a lace kind of material.
How many?
That's a lot. It's almost bigger than the drum line.
It is.
It's a lot of performers.
I'm not sure how I feel about that, if I'm honest with you, because I think one of the things about WGI is the accessibility of it. As far as you don't need as many members to be competitive.
Yeah, and that's a lot. Wow, nice bass drums.
Yeah.
Oh, they're pit members.
Ah, right, okay.
That makes sense. Okay.
Take back what I said a little bit.
Big pit, though. Oh my gosh.
They must have one hell of a booster organization in Chino Hills.
Yeah.
Both schools, I mean. Although I would imagine that at this level, there's sponsorships just like there's a drum corps as well.
Oh, I'm sure there is.
Good core strength in the snares there.
I know. My goodness. I'm very impressed.
Nice job, plates.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you look at Scholastic World, you look at your next class of DCI world-class drummers.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure a lot of these guys march like Blue Devils or Santa Clara, or are going to, you know.
I imagine that sort of a natural progression for a lot of these kids would be mandarins in the summer and pulse in the winter once they've graduated out of high school.
Maybe. I'm kind of confused on their show concept, but I like what they're doing. Wow, that was good. Did you see that slide and they were right in the position they needed to be? That was cool.
We see not what's been shown, but what we seek.
That was cool. I like that.
Yeah, a lot of cool movement.
We seek not what's true, but what we know. We knew not what could be, but what we expected.
Three synths as well.
Yeah. The color palette is very pleasing. It's just a black and gold, and I like it. That's cool.
We expected to see it all, but we missed everything.
I find this... I don't want to talk too much. I find it a bit crazy because I think back to my high school days, and I mean, I think our entire band budget could maybe afford one vibraphone. You know?
Yeah. I know,
and you were lucky if we had three snares.
Yeah, and like these budgets have got to be $500,000 at least.
Oh, easy.
And that's not counting the band program.
We sure as hell didn't have a band in my high school band that could play beats like that.
I know.
I say it every year when I watch Scholastic World. I have to keep reminding myself these are high school kids.
Yeah. And they're doing a phenomenal. I mean, this is like a very good show, very clean, very expressive, very well trained and practiced, you know what I mean?
Imogen Heap music, I believe it is.
Yeah.
I adore Imogen Heap.
That's cool. Very interesting show.
Yeah, definitely.
From Chino Hills, California, Ayala High School.
Yeah, way to go, man. Way to go.
Again, I go back to, it's just, I look at what they do in the high school level, and it just completely blows my mind.
I know. And like, but you know what, though, I kind of think about it like this. It's like, I think the reason why these schools are so good in Chino Hills, Aola, Arcadia, all those schools, Clovis West, everybody in the Midwest or middle California, the reason why they're so good is because of the drum corps experiences for over the last 50 years, right? So I think it really started taking hold in the 80s that's when I got involved, because we had a lot of people that marched in our band that were either in Valley Fever, which was in Modesto, Blue Devils. The rival high school actually had some people in Santa Clara's drumline from like 87, 88. I'm like, how could you march 87, 88 Santa Clara and come back to this band? And it's just like, that would just, because when I marched in 89, that was an epic year. 89 was a fantastic year for drum corps. I think one of the best years, right? I don't know if you would agree or disagree, but we had 89 Phantom, 89 Santa Clara. Blue Devils were great, epic that year. Phantom Regiment, Madison Scouts. I mean, it was just an epic year in 89. And I came back to band camp, and I was just like so disillusioned. I'm like, God, this sucks.
Yeah, I always found it difficult going back in September, but
and it wasn't my band sucked. It was just like the experience was so different, because I just marched in a stadium with like 35,000 people screaming, and I come back to band. It was kind of just like a letdown a little bit.
My issue is twofold. Number one is that I went to a little podunk high school in Sonoma County in Northern California, and there was myself. Well, there was 3 of us from my band that marched in 89 Freelancers. So there was myself, Jess Doughty played in the contrabass line. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you remember Jess. He was so big that they didn't have a uniform that fit him.
Yeah, I remember.
So he had to wear like a red sweatshirt with like a white triangle sewn onto it for like the first 6 or 7 shows, and then Seal in the bass drum line. But other than that, that was the sum total of drum corps experience in my high school band for the entirety of all the years of my high school band. Yeah. And it was bad. So for me, coming back was really hard, because it was like, nobody in my high school band even knew what drum corps was or liked it nonetheless. And the band kind of sucked. So,
yeah, I mean, what was weird though is the band in the 88 season, which is before 89, we were champions. We won our division. We were great. We had a great time, and that's what kind of propelled me to march drum corps, is because we had such a great experience with that. But then when I came back in 1989, what's 89? Let me think here. Hold on. Maybe I'm getting my years mixed up. No, 88 we were good, but 89 we were champions in 89. But anyway, just coming back, after marching was just kind of difficult. And I got kind of arrogant and, that kind of stuff.
This is the part where we waffle on a little bit. But I mean, you had yourself, you had Mario, you had Ken.
Larry, my friend Larry, he marched Blue Devils and he marched Freelancers.
I believe John Rashawn and Clint Madsen down working with the band that year as well. So you guys did have a lot of stuff going for you, whereas, my high school, we had nothing. So speaking of schools, should we look at a little community college from Riverside? I hear they're pretty good.
Just a little community college. No big deal.
Presenting their program, Only the Broken Can See, WGI Sport of the Arts is proud to present RCC.
Love the colors.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. They chose not to do a floor and just do like partial floors and the props and then the yellow ombre line.
Well, it's like Jen said in the last episode, the one thing that's nice about the Dayton Arena is they leave a black floor.
Yeah.
It's so clean. Just easy, but just so clean.
Yeah, so good. Ooh, you hear that? You bop, bop, bop.
Giving those spots some love.
I know, man. They do have some of the dancers, or the movement, I don't know what you call them, but I'd say dancers, but they don't have a lot.
No.
It's minimal.
Going back to the Ayala show, I actually found the dancers a little bit distracting, if I'm honest with you.
A little bit.
I'm able to concentrate more on the percussion here.
Yep. And it's a nice color contrast.
It is.
Oh, that wasn't me. I think it's a recording.
This also tells me that the 2025 Blue Devils percussion line is going to be lit.
Yeah. Well, I think some of them also march Santa Clara, though. And probably Mandarins. Trying to watch hands. Nice.
I can tell you straight away, half that snare line's from the Blue Devils. So what's the age out for WGI? Is it 22 as well?
No, not if you're world. You could be our age.
Really?
Yeah. There's no age gap or age cap.
Should we do it?
Hell no. Couldn't do it. We could play the rack. Ooh, nice.
Such esoteric source music.
I love it though. I love the darkness.
Always been about the darkness, eh? Great color palette on those uniforms, costumes, what are you going to call them?
I like the groove. Kind of has that Moroccan kind of. Nice toe point.
Again, great feet.
Yeah. If you notice, they have like this kind of like swagger to them. You know what I mean?
I talked about it in the last episode, movement. I love how they move across the floor. We joke about the whole Blue Devils winter line, but obviously they are part of the Blue Devils organization. And I love that they don't hide that fact. You can see a lot when you talk about swagger. A lot of that is that BD swagger. Go on, Anthony.
Nice movement. Look at that.
Getting up from a squat while playing clean singles is super, super underratedly difficult.
Oh, it's hard. Especially the weight of the drums.
Oh, to be young and have young knees and hips again.
Oh my gosh, if I tried to do that, I wouldn't get up. I'd fall over. That'd be the end of it. the quad.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the.
Go ahead.
Going back to the Blue Devils connections, I mean, those uniforms to me are very Blue Devils, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I don't mind. I like the color combo. I was gonna say the quads have a lot of control over their feet because they're doing some really hard balancing and movement.
Your mind is night. What you see is what you find. Only the broken can see.
Always got a great trap player as well.
Yeah.
Oh, super clean snares.
Ooh.
Great movement.
Just the playing, man.
And some velocity there as well.
Yeah. I'm going to be very interested to see the recaps.
Yeah, I think we should look at the recaps on this one because it was a lot closer.
From Riverside, California, under the direction of
Great job,
Troy
RCC.
Lou.
Yeah,
Really
very.
enjoyed that show. I have no idea what the hell it was about, but I really did enjoy it.
Exactly. I did too. Let me switch over to scores here. A lot to unpack with that show. So my overall thoughts of that show before we look at scores here, I really dug the vibe of the show. I don't know what the show was about, but I really dug the vibe of the show and kind of like the progression of the show and how it kind of moved and flowed. It flowed seamlessly from beginning to end. And I wasn't bored. You know what I mean? Sometimes like there's some lulls in some shows where you're kind of like going, I'm not sure what this means, but the show really kept me interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
From beginning to end. And the colors were great. Everything about the way they did everything, the swagger, I think is what really sold it for me, was just the confidence level and then the execution. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think for me, I keep going back to George Mason, but George Mason during their show reveal video did have this bit about no esoteric deep meaning shows and stuff. That'd be the only negative for me is I don't know what the hell the show was about,
Yeah.
But I could say the same thing about RCC, Rhythm X, Broken City, Pulse, Infinity. I didn't know what any of their shows were about, But that being said, I also, game recognizes game, and I know what clean looks like, and I know what good body movement looks like, and all of that was there. I find it interesting looking at the captions.
At the hundreds, all the hundreds.
Yeah, there's quite a few hundreds there. It would seem that B. Kuhn wasn't that keen on RCC. 29.85 to a 30 at that level is a pretty big gap. Yeah.
Okay, we got music. They got 29.925. So look at 100 and then a 99.5. Effect 100 and a 99.5, so 19.95 to a 19.9, so 0.05. 100 for this judge on visual, 19.975. Like I said, I don't agree there should ever be 100.
I don't. I was just going to say no. I don't.
Perfect.
I think that where that problem is now you're getting into drum corps judging, where we're number managing and we're rating and rating and ranking as opposed to giving the number that's deserved. Because there's no way effect visual. I saw at least 2 visual mistakes in that show. I didn't call them out because there's no need to, but I saw at least 2 visual mistakes. And if I saw him watching a video, I'm sure that the judge that was there must have seen him as well. Yeah. How can you give 100? What is perfect? What is perfect in a subjective activity?
Yeah, and it's nothing against the performers. Did an excellent job. It's just the
that's
way,
me not shitting on the performers.
It's just how they're getting scored. I think what happens is because look how many groups there are. They have to start down here with the number, and then as the night goes on, you're getting boxed in.
Yeah,
and you're like, well, the only thing I can go is to 100, and that's it. That's all I can go.
I think it's lazy judging. I've always said that though.
Yeah. All right, let's look at music. So music, actually, they being RCC, got first from this judge, third from this judge, overall second, and then Rhythm X got third from this judge. So they're like conflicting judges, and that's why they have two judge panels for every caption. 100 here, so perfect 20 to a 1985, and then. So it's kind of flip-flop back and forth, but look at the scores, 99.163 to a 99.063, so 1/10 of a point.
It's mad when you look at all those numbers there, and the only difference is 1/10 of a point.
Yeah.
It's mad when you think of it that way.
Yeah. And it's nothing against anybody. It's just kind of our opinions on... And honestly, back in 87, when this is a drum corps reference, 87, when cadets got perfects in drums, people lost their ever-loving minds because that's the only way they could have won in 87 is by getting a perfect drum score.
I know you and I have differing opinions on the 87 Garfield Cadets. I think the 87 Garfield Cadets is the quintessentially perfect drum corps show, and I think that was one of the few times I'm going to go back and completely contradict myself if I couldn't find a thing wrong.
Yeah, but I don't... Yeah, okay. 80... So, they were cleaner, but 87 Santa Clara had more Santa Clara-ness. I guess is the best way to say it. I thought 87 Santa Clara show was one of the best shows ever put on the field. Ever.
Well, I don't know if you're planning on maybe putting a little video snippet in here since we're going off the rails a little bit, but what I would say about the 87 Santa Clara Vanguard was, what did they haul their contrabass players around in? Because it sure as hell wasn't a bus. It must have been like a cage or something on wheels that they just threw raw meat into about 2 or 3 times a day. Because my God, that contrabass line, and especially in the opener, holy shit, it's just bottom end.
There's no amplification. Just it was like, come on. I'm sure that somebody from a distance just threw raw meat at them a couple of times a day and just stayed away. They were so good, dude. Their blow brass was just unreal that year. But if you think about it, from minute 0 to about 3:45, it's just all raw power and elegance. The opening was very elegant and very beautiful, and then they just get into this
until the Contras join the party.
Yeah, but and 80, nothing against 87 Garfield Cadets, but I don't think
still better.
I don't know. They were cleaner.
Still better.
They were cleaner. I don't think GE wise they were better. Not even close. Not even the same realm.
Now, this is one that you can definitely wield some video in on over the top of this. But to me, everybody talks about George Zingali and the genius of George Zingali. Yeah. And, everybody, when they think of George Zingali, they go straight to the cross to cross or they go to the Z pull. To me, George Zingali's magnus opus was the Disappearing Company front.
Oh, yeah.
In the 87 cool. Garfield Cadets show. And it wasn't so much the Disappearing Company or the Dissolving Company front. It was the fact that it came back together in an exact mirror image. But if you watch it, go back and watch it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's in the closer of the show. There's a 2-count hold in the middle of the Dissolving Company front part where the core members just stop, point their toes, and lift their horns up in 2 counts to GE. And it's just such a small little thing, but it's just in perfect conjunction with the music, and you just know what's coming after that. Hard to describe, but I mean, honestly, I get goose pimples just talking about that particular drill move. So
yeah, it's like apples, oranges. Which do you like better? But
Crash to Cross was cool. Don't get me wrong, but I just think that from a pure, the cross to cross was almost like we need to do something crazy here to get this show over the top. Whereas the Dissolving Company front was just, it was just art.
Yeah, I mean, I will say this: 87 Santa Clara versus them, the difference really was cleanliness. And that was the difference. I mean, because it was like 1/10 of a point, right? I think, or victory, or was it 0.2? I can't remember.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, so we're digressing, but we're waffling.
Yep.
But tell us your guys' thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear them. I thought RCC show was really, really good. It was a really
great,
well done show. Like you said, I didn't really understand the show concept. It wasn't really. Oh gosh, you can see like my background. Sorry. It's like bad. I'm
just gutted that the George Mason drumline from George Mason University performing the George Mason show didn't win. I'm gutted by that. I mean, come on. They had robots. They had big ass props. They had everything you need and no esoteric anything. So
great show. I'm gonna put it up here I'll put it up there and you guys can watch it. But yeah,
would that be the George Mason drumline from George Mason University performing the George Mason show?
Yes, that would be the George Mason drumline performing the George Mason show from George Mason University.
Yes, perfect. Hey, do you know what though? We like to travel to places like George Mason, but you know what else a cool place to travel is too as well? The comment section below.
Yeah, and you can also travel to our YouTube page where you can find lots of cool stuff. We have we have over 260 videos right now? I think we're like 268. Yes, we have a lot of videos.
We've also cracked another plateau on membership or on subscribers.
2,586. Yeah,
I think we need to be aiming for 3,000 by the first show of the season.
3,000.
I think that's doable.
Yeah, hit that subscribe button. That's all you got to do. But on our YouTube page, you can see all of the great videos we've done. You can subscribe there. You can also
How many YouTube videos are there?
There's 267 or 8. I can't remember the number.
That's crazy.
That's a lot of videos. And we have lots of podcasts too. Did you know you can listen to the podcast in your car by going to YouTube Music and searching the Marching Arts Network podcast? And you can actually find us there and listen to all of these videos. Who knew? But thank you guys so much for joining us. We always have a blast doing these, and making these videos is fun. And we're now going to be starting getting to the meat and potatoes of the summer.
We should be getting some show reveals, some core look reveals.
Mm-hmm.
That was a fun video to do last year.
The uniform reveals, yeah,
and the uniform. Oh, we got some shit for that one as well. So
yeah, well, it's our opinion, so deal with them.
Yeah, I think, as I recall, I crapped all over the Colts, didn't I?
Yeah, it all worked out. But thank you guys so much for joining us. As always, please make sure you subscribe, like, and share this video. We would really appreciate it. And we will be sure to see you guys on the next podcast or whenever video.
Do you want to do this one? Go on.
I can't. I don't know the spiel. Even though
you don't know the spiel?
I've heard it 100 times.
You want me to do the spiel?
You can do the spiel. It's your spiel.
All right. No matter who you're doing it with, no matter where you're doing it, no matter when you're doing it, no matter how you're doing it, just when you're doing it, make sure. Let me just point right here. March on.
March on. Do it.
Ciao.